Happening now, Peel Police are announcing results of an investigation linked to home invasions and jewelry store robberies across the GTA.
Results of a takedown of an organized crime group linked to home invasions and jewelry store thefts. I would also like to acknowledge and thank members of our Police Service Board for their attendance today, including Mayor Patrick Brown, City of Brampton, Deputy Mayor Matt Mahoney, City of Mississauga, Vice Chair Samita Kohli, Mr. Omar Khan, Mr. Alan Boughton, and Mr. Rob Serpe, Executive Director. As well, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome several elected officials, Minister Michael Kurtzner, Solicitor General of Ontario, MP Shafkat Ali, MP Amarjeet Gill, MPP Rudy Cuzzetto, Parliamentary Assistant to the Solicitor General, MPP Sylvia Galtieri, MPP Hardeep Grewal, Councillor Joe Hornick of the City of Mississauga, and Councillor Rowena Santos of the City of Brampton. I've also seen Deputy Director David Correa of the Criminal Intelligence Service Ontario here. Welcome, sir. And I apologize if anyone else has slipped in and I didn't acknowledge them. At the conclusion of this announcement, there will be an opportunity for questions. A media release will be issued shortly after the conclusion of this conference and will include links to all of the information provided here today. A full video of the conference will also be available on the Peel Regional Police YouTube channel. Without further ado, I would now call upon Deputy Chief Nick Milinovich. Deputy.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. We are here today to share the details of Project Night Train. This project, as you heard, was funded by the Criminal Intelligence Service of Ontario, supported by the Toronto Police Service and the Ontario Provincial Police Service. And without that support, the outcomes of today's project would not have been possible. Project Night Train is another takedown of a violent criminal network responsible for home invasions and robberies. In actuality, it is the second project that we are announcing within the span of the last week. We believe this group was responsible for robberies. And I really want perspective. 7 incidents represent over 60 victims and people that experienced that terror. 9 children. Several of those incidents left people with life-altering and traumatic experiences that they will carry for the rest of their lives. One of them occurred and a man was shot in his chest. Another had a victim beaten unconscious in front of his family and then driven over with a car. Our police service will not accept this type of activity in our community. The officers that are standing behind me today from our Central Robbery Bureau are the ones that are responsible for helping us as a police service maintain that commitment. And today, their work has resulted in some incredible outcomes. We've made 12 arrests, and 1 more individual is wanted on a warrant. And my message to that person would be, seek legal counsel and turn yourself in. A total of 136 charges have been laid, and a loaded firearm has been recovered. Over $2 million in stolen property was taken during these incidents. Of that stolen property, we have recovered nearly half. And this really serves as more proof of our message, which we've said time and time again. If you come to Peel to target our community, you can expect that we will come to you and remove you from our community. In addition to that, I think it's also important to highlight the effect that the work of the people standing behind me has on our community. It allows for a starting place for one of those 60 some odd people who have experienced this trauma to realize the people responsible for inflicting that on them have been arrested, charged, and are being held accountable. And hopefully it's a place where they can begin to heal. And I'm going to say this again. This type of activity doesn't belong in Peel. It's not accepted by our community, not accepted by our police service, and we will continue the battle against violent crime, particularly in the area of home invasions. It is entirely unacceptable. I would like to thank all of our members of our police service that, again, help us make good on that commitment to our community day in and day out. I would also like to thank the members of our police service board who make sure that we are well supported and well resourced in order to take the fight to the people that try to attack our community. I'd now like to turn it over to Detective Schoenecker, who will speak about the specifics of the investigation and more on the results of the investigation, as well as the charges that were laid in this ongoing investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. Good morning, everyone. My name is Justin Schoenecker. I'm a detective with the Central Robbery Bureau and case manager for Project Night Train. Since January 2024, there's been a dramatic increase in home invasion-style robberies throughout the GTA. These robberies are primarily late-night entries into homes where high-end vehicles and jewelry were targeted. Project Night Train is an investigation that was initiated after a series of violent home invasions, takeover-style jewelry store robberies that occur within Peel region. This project focused on 17 violent incidents which occurred between May and December 2024. Although these incidents appeared to be committed by two different criminal groups, due to their violent nature and impact to the safety of the community, Project Night Train was initiated to investigate any linkages between these groups, identify the offenders, and find them accountable. Several of these events left the victims with severe and life-altering injuries. On October 15, 2024, at approximately 12:34 a.m., 3 suspects forced their way into a residence in the area of Glen Erin Drive and Burnhamthorpe Road West in Mississauga. An altercation occurred that resulted in the suspects confronting the victim and shooting the victim through the chest. The suspects then left the scene in a stolen vehicle while the victim was transported to a local trauma center with life-threatening injuries. Just 1 week later, on October 22, 2024, at approximately 1:20 a.m., victims were followed by 2 suspects to their residence in the area of Mississauga Road and Queen Street West in Brampton. Shortly after the victims arrived home, the suspects forced their way into the victim's residence through a side door and made demands for the keys to their luxury vehicle. A struggle occurred that continued outside between the victims and the suspects, ultimately resulting in the victim being rendered unconscious after being assaulted by the suspect. At this time, the second suspect reversed the victim's vehicle over the victim, resulting in life-threatening injuries. Although this victim is expected to make a full physical recovery, this incident will obviously have life-altering effects. In totality, these crimes, along with the other incidents investigated in this project, not only caused lasting physical and mental impacts on the victims in our communities, but also resulted in a significant financial loss of approximately $2 million in vehicles and jewelry. Through various investigation techniques, linkages were made between these incidents, and numerous individuals involving 2 different criminal networks utilizing multiple and interchangeable offenders have been identified as participating in these violent offenses. Throughout the duration of this investigation, a series of coordinated search warrants and arrests took place in Peel region and the City of Toronto. We have identified 13 individuals responsible for these crimes. 12 have been arrested and charged, and 1 has an outstanding arrest warrant. These charges vary from attempt murder, robberies, various firearm offenses, and possession of property obtained by crime. Of the 13 identified, 6 were young persons at the time of the offense and cannot be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Of the 6 youth, 5 live within the region of Peel. Additionally arrested from Brampton, Mohanja Ravori, 19 years old. From Toronto, Burhan Abukadar, 29 years old. Jason Cunningham, 30 years old. Noor Nelly Dick Noor, 19 years old. Hakeem Thomas, 23 years old. And of no fixed address, Donnell Levy Porter, 19 years old. Additionally wanted on an outstanding arrest warrant is 32-year-old Ali Mahdi of Toronto. I want to thank my colleagues in the Central Robbery Bureau for their dedication and investigative work, which has led to the success of this project. The success of this investigation could not have been achieved without the support and funding of the Criminal Intelligence Service of Ontario and our policing partners from the Toronto Police Service and the Ontario Provincial Police. This concludes my update on Project Night Train. Thank you.
I would now like to call upon Solicitor General Michael Kurtzner.
Good morning. It's a privilege for me to be here with you this morning and to hear the results of the incredible work led by Peel Regional Police Service through Project Night Train. Over the past several years, our province, like much of Canada, has seen a troubling rise in violent and organized crime. This has left far too many Ontarians feeling unsafe in their own homes and neighborhoods. People have had enough. The residents of Peel have had enough. They've had enough of the violence in their streets, of jewelry store robberies, of smash and grabs, of having their cars stolen, of having their doors kicked in at 3 in the morning. Our government, led by Premier Ford, will not allow criminals to have what I said last week in Niagara, free run of the land, thinking that they can get away with it. I can tell you this, together with our policing partners, we believe in one thing, that our fundamental right to live safely in our own homes and communities will be respected and preserved at all costs. This respect will never be compromised, and that's why Ontarians trust our government to keep them safe. We're a government that will not tolerate lawlessness. We will always be tough on crime, and Ontarians respect us for it. When it comes to setting a high bar for public safety, let's face it, we've never had a government, never in my lifetime, never in our generation, that has set a bar as high as we have, that has been as relentless as we have in providing the legislation, the regulations, the expectation, and the tone that mirrors what we say. We will continue to equip police with the tools they need to arrest offenders, and at the same time, take a very proactive approach in appointing tough-on-crime judges and justices of the peace. Our approach is laser-focused, and it is intentional. It all starts with great policing partners like Peel Regional Police Service, a flagship service of one of the finest police services anywhere in Canada. But in the end of the day, no one should question our will or determination to keep our community safe. And if anyone violates the trust of lawful conduct in our province, make no mistake, you will be found, you will be put up, you will be locked up behind bars where you belong. And the proof is evident today. I'm proud that our government was able to support the work of Project Night Train through the Criminal Intelligence Service Ontario, CISO. And thanks to the tireless efforts of Peel Regional Police, 136 charges were laid, and those responsible have been held to account. On behalf of a grateful province, I want to thank everyone involved with Project Night Train. The people of Ontario are safer because of you. There are serious problems to solve, and we know that. We need serious leaders to solve them. We are the government led by Premier Ford that Ontarians have come to trust to keep them safe and protect them. We will never let them down. This is our sacred promise. To the brave men and women who tirelessly keep our province safe every day, to them we say, wherever you go, we go. Thank you. Merci beaucoup, and miigwech. And now I'd like to turn it over to our friend, my great friend, the Mayor of Brampton, Patrick Brown.
Well, thank you to our Solicitor General, who has been a great friend and supporter of the Peel Police. And as Deputy Milovich mentioned, provincial support for these type of investigations go a long way. And we're grateful to have a provincial government that fully supports the police. And it's not lost on us that you get pulled in many directions across the province. But when there is an announcement like this, you seem to be here on every occasion. So thank you for your support of the Peel Police. I hope the word's getting out. We were just here last week for Project Ghost, that this is a very inconvenient place to commit a crime. And I hope organized crime that may be watching this understand that. This is probably the worst place to commit a crime in the country. It's not if you will be arrested and those responsible will be found, it is when. because we have the best of the best in the Peel Police. And to the team behind Project Night Train, I just want to say on behalf of my residents, thank you. You take a difficult crime, they solve it again and again. And to Chief Nish, Deputy Chief Milovich, to the team behind this, know that there is a grateful public in Peel Region that this gives confidence to, that this allows everyone to sleep a little bit easier at night. You know, we're seeing the videos on the screen of these harrowing incidents, and I remember seeing them at the time. You know, we're in a culture now where everyone shares everything on WhatsApp and social media, and seeing those videos, and people were terrified, traumatized. Just imagine that being a jewelry store in your neighborhood. Just imagine that being one of your neighbor's homes. This was shared like wildfire, and I hope the good news is shared just as readily. Sometimes when there is a horrifying incident, it's going to be the lead story that gets attention. But I really hope the incredible work, that one of the reasons we're gathered much more frequently to announce the success of these projects is because of this great police work. And I hope that is appreciated just as much as the harrowing nature of these incidents, that those behind this terrifying criminal acts, they're being caught again and again. So I know this was traumatizing. I know this was another act of organized crime that terrified our residents. I think what I wanted to add was particularly disappointing and troublesome about these incidents is another example of the predatory nature on young people. I say never underestimate how sophisticated organized crime is, and if they feel a young person will be treated differently, and if there are loopholes in our justice system, they will take full advantage of it. They will drive a luxury stolen car through those loopholes with determination. And so obviously this speaks to some of the challenges we have right now with organized crime and their predatory nature on young people. And I think we all have a part to do in terms of combating that. I know locally I see Councillor Hornick and Deputy Mayor Mahoney here and Councillor Santos. We're opening up youth hubs right now in Mississauga and Brampton to make sure there are positive diversions for young people, that they don't feel hopeless. But again, to the Peel Police, today is really celebrating great police work. And once again, on behalf of my council and our residents, as a proud member of our Police Services Board, I just want to say thank you again for going above and beyond.
We've been listening to a press conference at Peel Police headquarters regarding the project dubbed Night Train. It was looking into an investigation looking into a criminal network into home invasions and robberies. So far, when we learned 136 charges have been laid. Over $2 million in stolen property was taken during these incidents. About half of those items have been recovered. Police saying that 12 people have been arrested. One remains outstanding, and we could tell you that 6 of them were young offenders.